Hey guys, so there is, um, there are people on Earth that use the phrase "a man, a baby." Okay, and I use it too. Because the politics have gone to nuclear levels. People's politics have gone to nuclear levels in everything, and especially in Hollywood everything, whether it be music, television, movies, it's all nuclear. Some people say that um, the I don't understand why my thing over here um, doesn't show what I would want it to show. Oh, I guess it sort of does. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's good. Um, uh, so what's happening? Okay, so politics have gone nuclear, and because I'm interested in politics, I'm interested in seeing the people who are identifying the problematic politics, far left, inside of the stuff. And Hollywood has been used as a propaganda tool for communism for a long time. I'm sure that these people, the people of Hollywood think that they're just all being super mega good people. When and if you were to actually talk to them about communism, they would say, "No, I'm not a communist." Like, but they're gonna spout everything. Every word coming out of their mouth is communism, but they're just too stupid, and it's just like everybody else around them is doing it. They're just a bunch of airheads. It's just like, of course, all the good people are Democrats and bad people are Republicans. We all know that. It's like common knowledge, kind of like slavery was common knowledge that it was just a thing. Black people are slaves. That's what happens, 500 years ago. Just because it's common knowledge, or maybe you should leave your. And then we talk about bubbles, Hollywood bubble and the coast bubbles, New York bubble and the California bubble of stupidity, right? And then your college bubble. But one of the things that I've really enjoyed about Trump is, number one, uh, everything bad that he has done, he said in the beginning that he was going to be bad. When he was asked, "What are you going to do when the country runs out of money?" He just said, "Print more." And so it's like, okay, so you don't understand economics. No wonder you just keep spending. You keep signing these massive budgets. Now the wars, is it just all yippity yap? Well, he hasn't started any new ones. I'm not seeing anything big going on in the war front, which is good. And I do see a lot of rhetoric, actually, about getting out, even though it's just rhetoric. And sometimes they do this, right? Scumbags will just talk a good game to just appease everyone, but then they just do the exact opposite. So, but politics has become nuclear. And, like the college SJWs, the Antifa, the Twitter, um, Hollywood, all of it. Like, what was it? That one chick from Will and Grace, Grace from Will and Grace. She was like, everybody who goes to this Trump fundraising dinner, put them on a list and then blacklist them from Hollywood. Blacklist them from Hollywood. And she used her, that came from her brain out of her mouth. This is a Jewish super mega, well, was anyway. You know, like once you're at the tippity top of a show like a Will and Grace, I think you're going to be rich for life. I guess the new series is not doing so well, so it's going to the Peacock streaming service. But anyway, I'm sure they're all still getting paid quite well because the Peacock, you know, the NBC streaming service, it does need, you know, content and new content. So maybe they just give everybody a pay cut and then say that you're going over there, you know. And the world in the future is all streaming services. Hollywood has ruined and is ruining their own everything. Television is dead. And see, this is what I think is happening, by the way. Hollywood knows that they're dying. This is like when you break up with your girlfriend. You just broke up with your girlfriend, and she's packed up and she's leaving your apartment. Number one, she stole a couple of things. Maybe she broke a couple of things. But on her, after she's left the apartment, she gets out her fucking whatever scrapey scrape thing and keys your car. Just puts a great big scrape all the way down your car because she's all full of emotion and she's pissed off that you don't want her anymore and she's just acting out. I have a feeling that's what's happening to Hollywood. I think they have seen the ever declining money thing. Down. Now, so, like I said, a lot of people are going to try to blame Trump. And that's very inaccurate. Do not do that. Black Lives Matter, Anita Sarkeesian, you know, the Young Turks, well before Trump was even a blip on the radar. All of these crazy SJWs and the Antifa have been around for a long time. And, you know, Trump has maybe, you know, upped the game some. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. But these crazy lunatics have been there, period. And I do think that they would still be the same crazy lunatics today calling for the lynching of 17-year-old kids wearing MAGA caps just for standing there and not giving ground to an old Indian guy beating a drum in his face. He's probably just going to stand and smile and be courteous and just, hey, if this is what the Indian guy wants to do, beat a drum in my face, I'm just going to sit here. Yeah, he's an ugly, toothless fucking, he looks like he's got AIDS, but I'm just going to sit here and smile, you know? And just before that, he waved one of his fellow classmates down. He says, no, don't engage. Don't get negative. These people just want to be crazy. Let them be crazy. We don't have to engage them. Just sit and be peaceful. And that's exactly what he did. He even demonstrated, he just stood there and was peaceful and let the crazy lunatics do what the crazy lunatics were doing. Right? We saw all that, but CNN edited it down. The Communist News Network, right? Edited it down, and then all of their you know, communist retards out there on Earth just went crazy with the fucking lynch him, kill him, bomb the school, kill them all. Seriously deranged stuff to a child. Just because, you know, they're ready to snap. Like I said, these crazy lunatics have been crazy lunatics. They've just been sitting in the wings waiting for it. And the world is breaking up with them. Hollywood is being kicked to the curb. Hollywood is like the ex-girlfriend who just left the apartment but has got their keys in their hand and is going to scrape up your fucking car on the way by. Or it's actually worse. They're burning the house down. You know? They're so upset that if you don't want to have, and they're just all emotional, their heads are exploding. And that's why everything is falling apart. That's why all of the Hollywood people, because somebody has seen the writing on the wall, and the bosses have seen the writing on the wall. The ones at Fox have said, "Okay, we're done. Let's sell." Everybody has seen the writing on the wall. The attendance for the movie theater has been going down. Television viewership is in the toilet. Nobody cares about the award shows. Not enough people. Everything is going away. Television is probably half of it. Half of your live television, your broadcast television, is sports. And then a quarter of it is um, news and reality, or actually news, and then another 15% is reality TV, and then 10% of it is your friggin' Hollywood actors telling their stories, sitcoms and movies or whatever. Very little of it is actually Hollywood people. Sure, you can say that doing the announcing at the friggin', American Idol or one of those singing contests, Dancing with the Stars or whatever, the reality show. It's a variety show, but you're not doing any dancing, It's not the same as acting. They're seeing the writing on the wall, and they're getting kicked to the curb. But on their way to getting kicked to the curb, they're throwing a temper tantrum, and they're breaking stuff, keying your car. I think a lot of it is that. Now, I don't know exactly how well informed the actual individuals in Hollywood are, but I would think that after you got fired, right, from your job, from Hollywood, and your business is closing, okay, I guess you can throw a temper tantrum on the way out the door. But you would think that you still are going to be looking for work later on. Maybe you would be nicer to the Trump supporters or the right-wingers or something. Maybe you think you got enough money in your bank account, it doesn't matter. But chances are you're probably a stupid retard, and you just kept purchasing, buying all this stuff well beyond your means. And you've lived on, like a high life, and you're still in debt. That's probably more like it, because leftists are stupid, right? So I'm sure that they haven't saved and they haven't put the money away for a rainy day. Maybe they have big houses and stuff like that they could sell off. But like your standard professional sports player, what is it? 60% of them are broke within 5 years after retiring. 60% and in basketball, maybe it's the race thing. In basketball, it's 80%. 80% of NBA players are broke within 5 years after retiring. So that is one big, there's lots of money flying around there, millions of dollars, even tens of millions of dollars every year. And they just blow it all. Just blow it. Prostitutes, cocaine, giving it away, expensive shit. But some some hold on to their wealth, but most don't. And that's all sports. 60% of all professional sports players are broke within 5 years after retiring. And then they literally have to get jobs. Now, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about man babies. Now, the reason why Hollywood is failing, it isn't just Hollywood. I hear, and I'm getting tired of the man baby of the world just denying it. Oh, they called us man babies in the article. They just called us man babies. We're not man babies. Yes, you are. But you just don't want to address it. You don't want to talk about it. You don't want to. It's. They are literally calling a spade a spade. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, let's just do it. Right? We're going to do it. Baby, baby. Baby, 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 baby mixed with adulthood, baby, and then, so there was a mixture for the Joker, so you had to leave the top 10 to get to mature subject matter. And if I have to define the difference between mature and immature, well, just think of the difference between a child and an adult. Responsibility, sex, complex themes and ideas. These movies that you just can't get enough of, they're fucking stupid. They're fucking stupid. Now, there's no... Now, I like horror, okay? And guess what? My movies are fucking stupid most of the time as well. It's true. Most of, Silence of the Lambs. I guess you could dig deep into that movie and you could, hear Hannibal Lecter's poetry. Maybe you are watching The Exorcist and you can see all the symbolism. Just that opening set, the first piece of that movie set in Iraq, and the religious imagery, and you could say that isn't, but really it's about a girl that gets possessed, and then the priests come over to get it out. I guess you could say that's but the way the story is, but there's also Friday the 13th. It's just boobs and kills and boobs. Which, by the way, I guess I've got one up on you now that I'm thinking about it, because there's lots of sex, even if it's just kind of stupid airheady sex by both the men and the women. Bimbo sex, both men and women. And the kills, those are both mature subjects, right? Now, I was watching, horror movies pretty early on in life, but I was still double digits, you know what I mean? When I was a single digit human being, like 9 or less, no, this was too freaky for me, and I couldn't handle it. But, when I got double digits, and then, I started to, be able to appreciate these horror movies. But with a Superman or the Incredible Hulk or something like that, that's an all ages thing. There's nothing, we know the difference between man entertainment and child entertainment. Why are you trying to not understand the difference? Now you're going to say, well, I also like Star Trek, and it's very complex there. It's politics and philosophy and all sorts of complexities there. Okay, I didn't say it was all. Star Wars, and I am going to say that it is man-baby entertainment. Now, there's nothing wrong with liking childhood things. Like, I'm going to give you an example. When you're a kid, your dad says, hey, let's go camping for the weekend. And you go, yeah, Dad, let's go. So you go camping for the weekend, and you had a blast. And guess what? 30 years later, you say to your son, hey, what, do you want to go camping this weekend? And your son says, hey, yeah, great. And you go out there and you have a blast. You're enjoying the same things. It's like you as a child enjoyed camping with your dad, and you as a father enjoyed camping with your dad. You're both enjoying the same thing. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not what we're talking about, right? You do realize that when people call you a man baby, that's not what they're talking about. They're talking about the maturity level of it all. When you were a kid, you were just along for the ride. But now that you're the father, you had to do the driving, you had to do the paying, you had to do the organizing and the planning, you had to be the protector, right? And the provider. You had to, you had to do all the things, all the mature things. Now, it's very, 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 so what do people mean when they call you a man baby? I don't know. Are you being a spoiled little kid? Are you acting childish? They ruined my Star Wars, and now I'm just going to throw a temper tantrum. They didn't get Star Wars. They got the lasers wrong. I remember one of you guys actually came out and I guess in one of the photos of something, somebody put the knee pads on the stormtrooper on upside down. The knee pads were on upside down. And they're like, oh my God, they don't even know how stormtroopers, is supposed to work. It's not, or whatever, right? And it's like, I don't know. It's just like a bunch of kids. It seems like a bunch of kids that are just kind of, just, I don't know. It's like, well, what have you created? Why don't you go out and do it? That's not my job. It's not my job. It's my job to sit here and complain. So like a rotten child then. No. And then it was, and then you guys keep changing up your wording for stuff, right? You're like, well, they flushed all the canon down the toilet. Like they got the comic wrong, or they got the Doctor Who wrong, or whatever. They keep spoiling stuff. But by the way, Joker, which had nothing to do with anything Joker, except for it looked like Joker and they called it Joker, it was fantastic. Okay, so is canon super important or is canon not super important? And what's the difference? Are you guys just like a bunch of kids in the playground that have decided to hate now or to like now, and you all just sort of agree? We all decided to really, really like Alita Battle Angel just to get back at Captain Marvel. Why are you pitting movies against each other? They're just fucking movies. And see, there's another thing that you guys can't comprehend either. It's just a fucking movie. No, it's everything. It's so important. It's the culture. It's the everything. Okay, well, so you guys are taking this too far, like a child would. So you're treating this movie like a child would. You know how when, for example, here's an extreme example, you show a kid a horror movie and then they have nightmares all the time? That kid took that movie too seriously. And then you go in and then you just keep trying to tell them, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. It's not real. It's just a movie. Why don't you come and sleep with us for tonight? Right? But, like if you're just going to go on and on and on about the movie, and then it ruins childhoods. It ruins everything. Well, I still think that a level-headed horror person like myself could help the nerd community out a lot. I guess because our stories over here have been torn apart and just... There's been a nuclear bomb set on every single horror franchise ever. And if you just get a good movie in a franchise, you're just, oh my God, thank God. Because all these other ones were shit or mediocre. And then they just fucking flush everything down toilets, like Friday the 13th. Actually, Halloween. How many different timelines do we have? I think we're up to 5 different timelines. Just because they fuck up so bad, they have to go back and be, they have 1, 2, and then 3 is its own timeline all by itself. 3 is a timeline by itself, and then there's 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and then there's 1, 2, 7, 8, and then there's the remakes, Rob Zombie 1 and 2. How many was that? Was that 4? And now with 2018, there's 1 and I don't know, Halloween 1978 and the Halloween 2018. 5 different timelines. You guys have to fucking relax over there. And what is this? It's all kids movies. And don't fucking tell me it's not all kids movies. Comic books, no. These are... You are enjoying childhood entertainment. That's what it is. I am not saying, like, you as a father can enjoy camping with your son just as much as your son can enjoy camping with you. We're not talking about it's all or nothing. You're not like that's saying like an when you're a kid you're out there playing baseball with your friends and you're really enjoying it. But when you're a dad or you're older and you're out there playing baseball, are you to enjoy yourself? Of course you are. It's nobody's gonna call the guy who goes out there playing baseball with his friends on the weekend a man baby. You have to hold on a sec. So, it's not just the entertainment, right? It's not just the baseball game. It's not just the camping. It's how it's approached. And the mature subjects that could or could not surround it. Right? So what is the mature way of handling Star Wars, for example? And what is the immature way of dealing with Star Wars? Well, one of the things that the man babies hate is being told that it's just a movie. There's a clear ending. It's just a movie. Move on with your life. Get over it. But for a kid, an immature way of handling that would be, I'm just going to throw a temper tantrum and just sulk and be angry and upset and be emotional and sulk. But a man is going to be like, well, they made a shitty movie. Time to move on. Right? Wow, that sucked. Star Wars is over. I guess we gotta grow up and move on. Or just, oh well, it was a shitty movie. I wasted $10. Or there were some points that were okay. My kid liked it. I guess that's good enough. But the magic of Star Wars is over. That's the mature way of doing it. And see, like, when you go to the theater 100 times to see fucking Avengers Endgame, and people did it. I don't know, they were trying to win world records or something. Um, but look at this. It's all kids' movies. Joker is the only kind of half exception. But this mature movie is based on a kid, a character designed for children. Sad all the way through. It's all kids. Stop it. These comic books are, they're made for children and man children. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with enjoying them. But guess what? You're enjoying them like a child. And you should be more mature about it, but you're not. Your house is full of kids' toys. Now, you obsess over this stuff like it's too important. You don't know how to put it into perspective. It's like a kid that, it's like a father who takes the toy away from the child, and then the child throws a temper tantrum. That's like you when they make a movie and they get Batman wrong. Throw a temper tantrum because you ain't got anything real going on in your life, right? Let's be honest. Where's the wife? Where are the children? Where are the grandchildren? Right? Now, some of these people do have those things, but a lot don't. Most don't. So you got the leaders that actually kind of have a life on top of being a man baby. And what are you doing sitting around watching TV all day? Watching movies and television all day? How many hours do you consume a day? You think that's a healthy way of living? You think that's a mature way of living? I know Shakespeare. I like yeah. So you sit at home all day, every day, looking and watching TV and watching movies and reading. Escapism. Now, some people have to do that for a living, right? Some people, like people that make movies, people that write books, people that make music, artists, things like that, for the other people to consume. If it happens once in a while, it's fine. But look at America. It's all kids' movies. These are all children's movies. Now let's go to different years. That was 2019. So let's go to 2009. Okay, Avatar. I'm gonna call this kind of half and half, I guess. There's, I don't know, is it too mature for kids? There wasn't really a lot of killing. There was no sex. It was a cartoon for the most part. I think Pocahontas, Dances with Wolves storyline is kind of generic. and sort of all, you know, it's it's fine. It's a family storyline, and I don't remember a whole lot of complex themes. I think it was just like environmentalism. You know, drilling for oil is bad, um, and the evil capitalists are moving in and destroying the planet. Kind of like your standard tree hugger, you know, crap that you would get anytime. Transformers, okay, kids, Harry Potter, kids, Twilight. Now, I don't know. This is a spin-off of porn for women, but this is kind of a more dumbed down version, but it's romantic. Are the kids going to like it? The answer is no, because it deals with sex and it's about romance. Well, could the other stuff kind of, I don't know. Now, if you're a teeny girl, teeny bopper, yeah, you're still gonna, you're just, your hormones are still going. But I mean, childhood, no. So this is mature. Up, kids, The Hangover, this is mature. Star Trek. Um, this one. Star Trek is, I'm gonna say a little bit of both. Not, I don't, as I recall, there's not much sex. I guess there is, no. It's, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. Star Trek confuses me. I think it's probably more mature. Um, the Blind Side. I don't know what that is. What is The Blind Side? A sports thing. PG. Um, based on a book. I don't know. Kids, Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to say a little bit more mature, but you see how this is more mixed up than in 2019? This is more mixed up. It's still not, and by the way, it's not just you, it's all of everyone. Some people say it's the hormones in the milk that you're drinking, or just the fact that the world is getting easy to live in. So 1909, and then I guess 99. So because the world is getting super easy, the men are getting soft. And see, that's a reasonable thing to think about. Why would you go out and be, get all that testosterone and all that manly lifey stuff when you don't have to? Like, even the lion, would he actually be picking fights if he didn't have to? If his territory was never invaded by another male, would he really, I think not. Now, granted, he's still going to have sons. But anyway, okay. Phantom Menace. I think that's okay. We got kids. Sixth Sense, adults. Even though there's a kid in the movie, it's still a very mature theme. Kids, Austin Powers. Adult. This is adult entertainment. The Matrix. I think you gotta be with, adult. I think these ideas and this concept of the red pill, blue pill, it's too complicated for a child. So I'm gonna put this mature. Tarzan, kids, Big Daddy. I don't know how mature the comedy was in this one, but I'm gonna say adult. The Mummy, The Mummy? I think this is the Brendan Fraser Mummy. There's some, that I don't think you'd really want to show this to a small child. So I'm going to say adult. Runaway Bride, I don't know. Romantic comedy. So if it's romantic in there, then that's sex, and that's adult. Blair Witch Project, adult. See how, are you catching my drift? Are you catching my drift? That Um, the man babies of the world, the number of them is growing exponentially. And maybe it's because the world is getting soft. You don't have to get out there and work really hard to make a living, physically hard. You can just sit there maybe in your underwear and talk to a camera or whatever, right? You can be a computer programmer from home and never leave the house. So you don't have to fight other men. You compete with other men, or you're not rustic. You're not out in the outdoors, and you're not having to interact with a lot of people. Whatever the case is, I don't know. But this is a much more mature set of movies. And now we're going to go back another 10 years. So we'll go to 89. Okay, Batman, that's going to be kids. Indiana Jones. I still think it's more mature. I think younger people could get into this. Maybe this is a mixture, a little bit of both. Lethal Weapon 2, that's mature. Killing and, okay, Look Who's Talking. A Baby That Talks. I forget how mature the comedy was in that movie. It's been too long. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, that's kids. Back to the Future 2, probably kids. Ghostbusters 2, kids. Little Mermaid, kids. Driving Miss Daisy, mature. And Parenthood, I don't know. Well, this is kind of a bad example. This is a lot of kids too. But you see, even when you're catering to the kids, this is still more mature, right? Like, you can say Ghostbusters 2 is for kids, but a lot of these jokes and stuff are. Whereas, it's just not. It's more. There's more of a variety. Let's go back another 10 years. 79. And I guess that's as far back as we can go. Kramer versus Kramer. That's mature. The Amityville Horror, mature. Mature. Apocalypse Now, mature. Star Trek. That's mature. No kid could ever sit through that movie. Alien, mature. The Muppet Movie. That's kids. The Jerk. I'm sure it's mature. Moonraker, I don't know. And 10 is certainly mature. So these two I don't know about 100%, but they're probably mature. Look at the next one, The Deer Hunter. That's super mature. Don't fucking, you man babies that just can't get into that headspace and actually think, you're just proving that you're man babies. Now, like I said, it's not just that, and like a Nerdrotic, who his house is full of kids' toys, who is an actual recovering addict, should understand. It's terrible that he's a nerd drug dealer now. He's just like all of the people who have serious problems in their lives, and he just keeps pushing escape kids culture. You would think that he would have recognized that this is just substituting one addiction for another. And the fact that he's not even admitting to these addictions, like you're addicted to television, you're addicted to movies, fucking stop it and go outside. Why do you feel the need to escape reality so much, and live in a different universe so much? Does life suck that much? Why don't we start to deal with the life sucking so you don't want to escape it so much? So why don't we talk about welfare and obesity and not getting laid because he doesn't want to bring those things up. It's just like a drug dealer, right? He don't care. As long as you just give him the money, he'll suck up the money. He doesn't care about how your life is going. And he doesn't even want to talk about it because that's going to hurt his sales. He wants you to be a drug addict. So when people call you a man baby, are you a baby? Are you acting immature? Like I said, enjoying a childhood thing is not in itself make you a man baby. Like, liking a Superman movie does not make you immature. And you know the difference between mature and immature. I hope you do anyway. You know the difference between children and adults. And you should be able to draw a line. But it seems as though you're not, which is kind of disturbing. But look at that, right? Just look at the general movies. Like, how much more man baby can you get than 2019? For Jesus fucking Christ. What the fuck is this? Don't fucking tell me there isn't a problem going on and all the man babies of the world just got their head in the sand. No, everything is fine. Yeah, it's just all the movies now are for children and I, and me. Everything is this way now. It's just what it is. Is this just everybody has given up on the movie theater except kids and people who likes kids entertainment? Maybe the movies are just so bad, they're just for dummies. And you, the comic book, I don't know, you just, see, like I said, I like horror movies. And there is absolutely an element of stupid in them. But when I listen to a mature man talk about, I love these characters as a kid, and just seeing them pop out live on the screen, it's just amazing. But that's all there is now. And I'm sorry, but these movies are shit. And still, everybody's going to fucking see them. They make all the fucking... Is this all there is now? Like, what? Who's steering what? What's going on here? This is a sickening list of movies. It's disgusting. Maybe all of the mature people have just checked out of the movie theater altogether. What is this? It's one thing to, take your kid to go see a comic book movie and kind of enjoy it yourself. Yeah, it was kind of fun. But it's another thing to, that's all we do now. It's just comic books. Yeah, that's it. And then and in between the comic books, the kids, the parents take their kids to go see, the latest Disney thing, get them out of the house, treat them for a day out, and maybe they get check out to see if it's as good as the one that they remember when they were a kid. Okay, taking your kids to see things. But is that it? Movie theaters are now just playgrounds for children and man babies. Children and adults that like children, like the entertainment made for children. We know the difference between children, and if you're going to say you're not a man baby, you're saying there's no difference between children and adults. And that's a fucking scary thing. So, you know, I don't know what to say. I do know that when you're watching these movies, I'm going to give you, for example, right? The very first Avengers movie, the very first one, right? It's interesting, right? I enjoyed it. I enjoy, and I guess bringing these characters together for the first time, right? And sort of like this is kind of the first big sort of team up. Like I enjoy comic book movies a little bit, like they're okay. And this one was kind of like, well, they're bringing them all together. But you know, and I said, well, that's a pretty big deal, bringing them all together for one movie. And then you realize that these characters, like it is kind of complicated. But the thing that left me the most was, okay, the Hulk in this movie. And then, by the way, I like the movie. The Hulk, right? The Incredible Hulk in the beginning of the movie, everybody was so terrified that he was going to turn into the Hulk. Like, that was the entire first half of the movie. Oh my God, I hope the Hulk doesn't turn into the Hulk. Bruce Banner doesn't turn into the Hulk. Oh my goodness, because then he's just going to kill everyone and rip everything apart. He's going to be an uncontrollable rage monster. From the very first time that they actually find him in this, whatever, third world country, in that hut. Black Widow finds him. And they had all of those extra people, out there just in case he didn't come peacefully. Or he turned into the rage monster, right? They completely set him up like, if he turns, then he's going to just explode and tear everyone and everything apart. And, okay, so now you've set him up as that person. But then, in the second part in the final act of the movie, he's taking orders. He's part of the team. And he's following orders. Captain America is telling him what to do, and he's listening. Now what? Are all comic books this bad? Is your love for the superhero, the sort of humanoid people with superheroes, is the comic book so interesting to you, so incredibly awesome, that you just overlook everything? Now, once again, I will admit that horror movies are oftentimes bad movies, and I overlook it. We all do. All horror fans overlook it to just enjoy the horror movie. But guess what? You know how many horror movies I saw last year? One. And it wasn't even one that went to the theater. Somebody reviewed a movie that didn't go to the theater because none of the ones that went to the theater looked interesting, looked good. They all looked bad. All of the horror movies look bad. Horror movies are getting so shit. Terrible. Why would I want to watch an inferior version of Pet Sematary? I already have a perfect version of Pet Sematary. Why would I want to watch a crappy version of it? Child's Play. It Chapter 2. Didn't really like Chapter 1. And I didn't really like the originals all that much. Not really my cup of tea. And I don't really like it when you abuse children. I think children should be not part of the horror movie. I don't like it. And so on and so on. So I saw zero. But all of your Marvel movies anyway, all of the big you know, you just can't get enough of these things, no matter how good or how bad they are. It's like you guys don't care. It's like you're a child, and you're just skipping over things to just see the Hulk on the screen, and you just don't care. And like I said, the box office tells me that I am correct. Kids movies, and then you're gonna say, well, I'm not a kid and I liked it, and then I'm gonna say, well, there you go, exactly what I'm saying. This is a sad state. No, you just keep pointing the finger at Hollywood, and Martin Scorsese tried to tell you, why are you guys also addicted to this crap? It's pretty lights and um, you know, lots of sounds and lights and sounds, all strung together. A little bit of a vaguey, crappy story with some shallow characters that don't fucking even mean anything. No depth. It's just like popcorn, zero depth. And you're gonna, like in a year or so, all these things are gonna be forgotten. They all run together. Meaningless, empty, void. And in actuality, it's negative. Most of the stories in these movies are just communist filth. Or nothing. Bad guy comes and people use their superheroes in a variety of ways to knock them back. Like Infinity War is literally, the story of that is, environmentalism, communist filth. Look at The Watchmen. It's nice that you guys are starting to wake up a little bit, and maybe you're going to start to say no to this stuff. I think Black Widow is going to be the first test to see how man-baby addicted you guys are to this crap. If it makes $1 billion, I mean, all these people that keep calling you man-babies, they're exactly correct. No, hashtag not all. I'm sure some of you have, like I said, somebody has to be involved in this stuff intimately to create this stuff. And they're probably making a very good living and doing their things, whatever it happens to be. But it just seems so, and it's just, I don't know. Don't fucking tell us that man babies don't exist when you see a fucking list of top 10 movies of last year that look like this. One exception. And it's only a half of an exception. It's a mature movie based on a childhood friggin' character. So, yeah, I would really like this nerd groups to start addressing some of these, criticisms, and not just, oh, they were selling washing machines to, and automobiles to, with Star Wars stuff on it. So yeah, these movies are made for children. No, they also know that you are a man baby and that you do buy washing machines and stuff. And really, it's just kind of, can we just sell some more Star Wars? Get Star Wars logo everywhere? Just, it's kind of like, I don't know. It's like anything. If I was selling, I don't know, something extremely mature, am I going to care if McDonald's, Am I going to care where the sign goes? It's just a sign that says Star Wars, so it puts that in your head, and then maybe you'll go see the Star Wars movie. And yes, we're, like another thing is they call you man babies, right? So you are a man who is buying a car or a washing machine, and you're still going to go see the new Star Wars movie because that's what man babies do. They buy cars and watch Star Wars. Two things can be, true at the same time. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I just don't understand this whole man baby stuff. I don't know. I have no idea. But anyway, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to grab something to eat. And how is the weekend numbers? Yeah, not in yet. Anyway, okay, we'll talk to you later. Bye now.